I helped organize the Senior Colloquium with Sarah Jemison as a way to, I guess we wanted a way to provide CAS students with a space to discuss their independent work.
And it really was kind of a hope to get to know each other and to get to know professors better. And that's kind of as far as I let myself plan and dream. And it really, it did that and also did a lot more.
I loved hearing about every single person's thesis. I thought that was absolutely fascinating. My thesis is entitled Myopic Justice, A Brief Intellectual History of Colorblind Law from 1880 to 1896.
Tough love, how one high-performing charter school implicitly criminalizes youth of color.
Power and Resistance, a history of Black student protests at Princeton from 1967 to 1978.
So I think that the colloquium, created a space in which we could interact with these professors that we never had, or even speak to professors that you had in a different setting. You see a new facet of their personality.
It's always nice to have as a balance of sort of being the professor where you're guiding a discussion and you're teaching materials. It's really great to have the kind of reverse experience where you're being taught, where you're, it's much more like the way that we interact with peers.
The fact that it wasn't a class, right? So that there was structure, but there was sort of this unstructure in terms of where the conversation could go, where discussion could go. I think that was it gave us an autonomy, I think, to kind of really explore what we wanted to explore.
It gave us a time and space to be completely frank and talk about our personal lives and bring our own context and backgrounds into the setting, where I think a lot of the times in the classroom setting you're really there to try to absorb knowledge, whereas here we have more of a chance to interact with it.
It's also a very pregnant moment in society with all the Black Lives Matter movements and the student activism that have been going on. So we wanted to have something where CAS students could reflect on their experiences as students here, but also as people in the world.
I think this has been the most valuable part of my senior year in terms of academically and socially, just because I think the thesis would have or could have been an awful process if I didn't have a space where I could get feedback, but also just talk about why it matters.
But one of the questions that was asked to me when I presented my thesis was what I make of my thesis. And so for me, that was a profound question because, again, it really allowed me to understand that my thesis, even though it was a requirement for graduation, has implications and can really do things to understand not only the history of what has happened, but understand the particular moment that we're in now and how we may be able to move out of that moment.
Describe the colloquium in one word. Engaging.
Enriching.
Dynamic.
Amazing.
Community.
Enlivening.
Well, the word that keeps coming back to me is safe. Yeah, we're gonna go with safe.